Hey, if you're a real estate or even mortgage team leader, you gotta listen up. I'm gonna show you the best way to screen people during the recruiting and hiring process to ask the questions that really matter and stop wasting all of your time with all this other nonsense. Things like personality tests, group interviews, and all kinds of other video screening services. None of it works. I'm gonna show you what actually works. It's gonna save you a ton of time and make everything a lot easier in the hiring and recruiting process and help people stay accountable when they're actually on the team. Let's jump right in. All right, so before we do that, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We're always giving you the best, most relevant information on all things real estate, how to grow your team, how to get started in real estate and really scale it up. Even getting started with video, we got you all covered here. So before we do that though, make sure that you comment, share, and like this video. So here's the thing. Your picker is broken. I'm just telling you the truth. If you are working on all these different screening techniques, we have them fill out an application and they do this video thing and then they have to, on the phone call, I ask them a bunch of questions, I pitch them on all of our stuff, and then when they come in, before they come in, I make them take a DISC test or a KPA or all these other personality assessments, and then we meet with them, and then we put them in a group interview. It's all nonsense. Now, the only reason I say that is because I've done all of it. I've done every single one of those things you're talking about. We're talking about Spark Hire videos, group interviews, meeting with the mentors, personality assessments that take 10 minutes up to 10 hours, right? Not really 10 hours, but you get the point. I've done it all. And here's what I can tell you, and I'm sure you're the exact same way. Please comment if I'm wrong, by the way, if you've had a completely different experience. But here's how I know that I'm right. Because every time I ask people, I train team leaders and coach them all across the country. And here's what I found. They don't have 1,000% batting average. Those things, and here's how I can prove it to you. Have you ever taken anybody through all those things and they still flopped, right? You thought on paper they were going to crush it and do amazing, and then they actually just flopped. And then have you also hired someone maybe against your better judgment, right? They didn't show up perfectly on the personality exam, or sometimes in the group interview they said something a little wonky and one of the people on the team was like, I don't know about this person, but you hired them against that advice and then they crushed it. Yeah, that's how I know that all those things don't work. They make us feel better, but they're not predictors of success. I'm going to show you what really is the predictor of success, and it's based around 3 simple questions. Now, these aren't the only 3 questions that we ask, but these are the 3 questions and the subsequent talk tracks that I have found to be most important, most impactful, and most importantly, most predictive of whether or not someone's going to succeed inside of a team platform. So here they are. I'm going to break it down for you real quickly. First is support. Real estate is not easy. Real estate inside of an organization like a team that holds you accountable, that expects you to perform, that expects you to show up and do things. Because let's be real, most real estate agents think that they're leaving structure to become a real estate agent. They think they're going to be able to call the shots and do what they want, when they want. In reality, when they join your organization, it's probably not true. Right? There's specific times they need to be at trainings, there's meetings, there's all these different things that they need to be really dialed in on because there needs to be structure, right? And so what I want to know is on those hard days, because let's be real, you're excited about this client, then they just completely ghost you. They ended up using another agent. The deal fell through. Right? Those types of things happen on a regular basis. Nobody's answering the phone. I just cashed 2 checks and now I have nothing coming my way, and nobody picked up today. No one showed up to the open house. The list goes on and on about the things that really take the wind out of our sails sometimes as real estate agents. So what I want to know is, what does it look like when that happens? So the way that I ask, and the question that I ask is, what does your support system look like? And I ask it very vague at first. Hey, so tell me a little bit about yourself, and mostly, what does your support system look like? And they'll say, well, my support system, what do you mean? I go, you had a rough day. You had a rough week. You've had a terrible month. What do you do? I'll just leave it there. And I'm trying to figure out, do they go, I get together with my boys and go drinking. I get my girls and we go out partying. I go to, Palm Springs or whatever it is. Or do they get reflective? They go to the gym, right? I'm not saying any of these are good or bad, although some of those are not great. But what I also want to know, even deeper, is who makes up your support system? Who does your support system consist of? Because, like it or not, here's what I've found. People that have a strong home support system do better in real estate over the long term because they have people that lift them up, not tear them down. They have people. If they are a loner, they have a harder time rebounding. It's just the truth. Or if they have negative people in their life, people that are telling them they can't do it, well, when they have a hard week, they're not going to want to share that with people because they're going to go, oh, it's just going to validate their opinion that real estate was a bad choice. Trust me, I've seen it. So I want to know about their support system. Do they have a boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or spouse or anybody like that, children, parents at home that they see regularly, that they talk to on a regular basis, that it's hard to avoid, that support their choice to go all in on real estate? And I want to talk through that because I want to figure out what their support system is, because it's not a matter of if they will have a bad day, week, or month. It's a matter of when they do, what will they do after that, right? Life's not about what happens. It's about how you respond to it. That's what we're talking about. A good support system is going to be a way better predictor of whether or not someone's actually going to succeed than, hey, I'm really hungry and I'm super excited, because let's be real, initial enthusiasm for real estate fades. Remember when you were super excited about it, and then remember when you weren't, and then remember when you were, right? It comes and goes. Well, during those valleys, support systems are critical. I think I've labored the point enough. You got to figure out what their support systems are. I don't care about their personality. I care about, do they have support? Number 2, all right, is where are they going? So this is the way that I ask the question, and I'll share with you how I go deeper, but where are they going? So what I always say is, hey, listen, I don't actually like houses. I don't. But I like what selling houses does. I like real estate. Real estate I see as a vehicle to take me places, to where I want to go with me, my life, my family, all these different things, my financial goals. Real estate is a vehicle. That's the way I've always seen it. Where is the vehicle of real estate taking you? Basically, it's a different version of saying, what are your goals? Right? I want to figure out where real estate's taking them. Well, it's going to take me here and there and whatever. And here's my thing. 4 layers deep. I want to go 4 layers deep if possible. So I go, where's real estate taking you? They go, oh, it's going to, help me build financial freedom. You'll hear this one all the time. Financial freedom. I go, great. What does financial freedom mean for you? They go, oh, this, that, and the other. And I go, okay, great. Well, if you were able to achieve that, right? Let's say it's pay off school debt and get a down payment for a house. Okay, if you were able to achieve that, what would that do for you? Well, I don't know. I'd be in my house and, I don't know. I'd probably figure it out and maybe turn it into a rental once I buy it. Okay, cool. You want to be a real estate investor. Awesome. What would owning real estate assets that provide you with passive income, what would that do for you? Well, it enabled me to, travel more, or invest more in my kids or whatever it is. Oh, wow. So if you were able to retire your husband and fund your kids' college tuition with the rental income that you get from your real estate portfolio, what would that do for you? Wow, man, that would radically change my life. The reason why I'm asking this is I want to first figure out, do they think ahead? Second, I actually want to hear, what I'm listening for is that they're going to get further into real estate, that they're going to buy assets, they're going to own more real estate. That's what I'm listening for. The reason why is because I'm trying to figure out, do you believe in real estate as an asset class? Because if you believe in it as an asset class worth owning, when times get hard, again, this is what I'm building for. When times get hard, you have conviction. I own real estate. I own rental properties. I believe in that. So when somebody is thinking about buying a house, I have conviction that this is an asset class worth owning. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people not buy a house because their agent didn't have conviction. It's actually a true story in my life. A buddy of mine, to this day, missed out on one of the best opportunities I've seen to purchase a home before prices went through the roof. And I let him know, I go, you got to buy it. He had all kinds of objections, but he wasn't using me as his agent. He was already using somebody else that we both mutually knew. I didn't want to step on her toes. But when he approached me, I said, dude, you should pull the trigger on this thing. You got to do it. I know that you have these objections. I know that you'll be a little tight on cash, but that's going to be all right. That house has now doubled in value. and he is still renting. And the reason why is because his agent did not have the conviction to look him in the eye and go, dude, pull the trigger. Instead, when he brought up the objections to her, she agreed with him. Now, I don't think you have to guess. She's a renter too. I have nothing against renters, but I do have something against real estate professionals who don't have the conviction that real estate as an asset class is worth owning by any means necessary. That conviction, the people that have it do much better in down markets, in challenging markets with challenging clients that have a lot of objections, because if you believe it deep down inside, you will transfer that conviction and people will trust you and they'll feel more certain. He did not get that certainty that he needed from her. And so now he's a renter for life, probably. And it sucks. So what I want to figure out is, where's real estate taking you? And I'm listening for, is it real estate related? Are you going to go deeper into real estate, or is this, I want to make some cash and then go do something else? There's a difference in how people show up over the lifetime on your team if they believe in real estate as an asset class worth owning. Now, the other reason I want to make sure that I go 4 layers deep on that is because when 9 months from now, they're not doing the things that they need to be doing because they cashed a couple big checks and now they've taken their foot off the gas, I'm going to remind them of the big picture things, of where they want to get to long term. Right? Because a lot of people go, where do you see yourself 3 to 5 years from now? You know what, dude? That's nonsense. Nobody can predict that. It makes it really wonky. It's better to just go 4 levels deep and say, what would that do for you? What would that do for you? What would that do for you? And then when it's time to help them stay accountable to their activities so that they can see their goals actually coming to reality, that's when you use this. You're actually building up ammunition to better coach them. All right? So that's why I asked that question. The third big question that you got to have inside your interview process to help you predict whether or not this person is going to be successful and help them stay accountable in the future is figuring out what they did as an extracurricular. Now, I know this might sound like it's very superficial, but trust me, it is not. Here's the truth. I like to ask it very casually because I want to hear what people say. And normally I'll say, all right, well, so great. That's all great. And I just want to get to know you a little bit more. Tell me, I don't know, what'd you do for extracurriculars growing up? I say it like that because I don't want them to feel like I'm fishing for a specific answer. I want them to just answer. I want to take off all the pressure. And here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for athletes, people that were part of the student body, people that were actors, like they were in theater, right? Or they were musicians. Those are the 4 types of people that I'm looking for. People that did extracurriculars during high school and college. Even soon, if they started earlier than that, great. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to use athletes as the example right now because those are the most abundant, right? The best people on my teams are always former athletes. And they're people who played the same sport for multiple years. And here's why that's important to me. First off, they're competitive. Get it. They love to win. But more than that, they weren't perfect and they weren't even probably very good when they first started a sport, but they stuck with it. They were probably enthusiastic their first day at wrestling practice. And then over time, enthusiasm for the thing, just like real estate, just like anything, wanes over time. It drops. But they stuck with it. If you played a sport, if you're watching this video, you know what I'm talking about. Was every practice fun? Was every tournament fun? Absolutely not, but you stuck with it. And it was during a critical part of your life where you were forming your identity, right? You were answering questions for yourself like, who am I? What do I stand for? How do I want to be perceived by people in this world, right? Who do I want around me? Well, you were answering that. You were actually forming your identity as a human being. And during that, for those of us that were athletes growing up, we were also making tough choices. Because here's what I know. If you were an athlete growing up and you played the same sport for multiple years, right? Whether you were any good or not is irrelevant. You did that. Here's what I know about you. 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, during very formative years of your life where you were shaping your identity for the rest of your life. Things like this happened. Hey, Isaac, do you want to go out and do this thing that's totally normal and healthy and acceptable for a 14-year-old boy to do after school? And my answer was, no. I got to go to the gym, work really hard, and get yelled at by an adult, and probably work so hard that I'm going to throw up. I was a wrestler growing up, right? So probably work so hard that I'm going to throw up. Oh, and by the way, I'm probably not going to be able to eat dinner because I got a dual meet tomorrow. That's the choice that a 14-year-old Isaac made. Here's the thing. That's the choice that I had to make when I was a real estate agent just coming up in the ranks. That's the choice that every real estate agent has to make on your team. It sounds more like this, though. Hey, Isaac, do you want to go do something that a 25-year-old should go do? You want to go to this concert? You want to go out of town? You want to go to Mexico? You want to go snowboarding? You want to go to the beach? And my answer was, no, I got to go show houses, run open houses, write offers, whatever it is, go to this appointment, make calls, right? We had to make those tough choices. Hey, guys, sorry, I have to leave the sleeping party at 11 because I have to be on a bus at 4 in the morning for my out-of-state tournament for wrestling. Like, dude, those were tough calls to make as a 14, 15, 16-year-old, missing parties, leaving early, having to skip out on social activities because I made a commitment. But here's the thing. That was part of my identity because it was while I was forming my identity. So there's part of my identity. There's part of every athlete's identity. And again, like I said, theater, ASB, musician, all those people have the same muscle that they developed, which part of their identity is now I commit to things and I stick with them well after the enthusiasm has waned. And I stick with them even though I'm not great. Even though this week I don't feel like I made very much progress. As a matter of fact, I feel like I might have regressed this week, but I still show up. That's the heart of an athlete. And so I want to learn, do they have any experience in their formative years when they were shaping their identity, who they are? Do they have any experience in saying no to the fun, convenient thing and yes to the thing that they committed to even after it was no longer fun? You show me somebody who has that muscle, and I'll show you somebody, as long as they have a good support system and they have conviction that real estate is a great asset class to own. You combine that with the part of the identity that says, I commit to hard things and I stick with them even after my enthusiasm has faded. That's the recipe for a successful agent. I don't care what their personality profile is. I don't care what other agents on the team think about them. I care that they do those things. Now, here's what you might be thinking. But Isaac, what about core values? Those are really critical as well. They need to be a core value fit. But a core value is not a predictor of success in real estate. A core value is a predictor of success inside our organization. So I still believe that you screen based on your core values, and I'll do another video on how to do that. But these are the things that are predictors of whether or not someone's going to succeed. I'm sure you got a ton of value out of this, and it probably even challenged you a little bit. But I want you to sit there and think about this. Are any personality exams going to predict like that? Are any group interviews going to be that deep? I don't think so. What I'm advocating for, just in case you're wondering, is for you to cut out all other nonsense. Shorten that to a very specific conversation that includes these 3 questions and a couple things to make sure that they have integrity, right? But those things plus integrity, that's a great long-term fit. Anything else beyond that, you're just fooling yourself. You're spinning your wheels. You're putting people through way too much of a process. You have to let them in and then put them on a rigorous training program that's going to screen out the people that just interviewed well. Because what this doesn't account for is people that just know how to interview really well. You put them into a rigorous training program immediately when you hire them, and that should filter out the duds from the studs. Don't try to filter people out so hard and aggressively at the beginning during your interview process. You're going to be missing out on way too much talent. Hey, so coming in for a landing here, here's the thing. I want to give you something free for watching this video. We actually have a team leader ebook all about building and scaling your team and transforming your team, whether you're starting a brand new team or transforming your team in the next 90 days. What you're going to do is you're going to go into the comment section and you're going to type in team growth, TEAMGROWTH in there, and we'll get you the ebook that we created all about building your team. Now, if you want to learn how me and my business partners partner up with team leaders and agents just like you all across the country, go into the description below. Click that link. You can have one-on-one time with us. Until next time, keep crushing it.